How's it going, my truant people? DrSlaking, the Slacking Doctor, back with week 4, I believe, of the GDL. I'm a little bit all over the place right now, but this week, your Lake District Spirits are going up against Skyrander and his, I believe, Scandinavian Stoutlands. We haven't battled Skyrander in a while, so this is going to be really fun. I'm going to drop him a good look, have fun in there, make sure we're recording on everything, because we've already had one screw up this season doing that. And then, yeah, I can open the damage calc and everything else. Good, good, good. So we look in a solid spot. The reason that I'm so all over the place checking to make sure everything's good is that we've been here for just over an hour now, about an hour and 5 minutes trying to get this all set up. So, yeah, I'm a little bit just woozy-headed. I haven't really been doing anything in that hour. I'd basically been like nodding off for a nap before Skyrander said he was ready. He wasn't sure exactly what time he'd be ready. I thought he would be ready for a few extra hours, so I was starting to like doze off. And then he hit me up and I was like, oh goodness, so I've just been sat here for an hour kind of like in and out of sleep. So I probably look terrible. I'm probably making no goddamn sense. But the important thing is we're here. We're here playing some GDL Wi-Fi action and I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. I've brought some fun sets this week. Basically, there were some ones that had better matchup than what I've brought this week. For example, I 100% should have brought my Gmax Venusaur. Maybe should have brought Kingdra. In fact, I actually had a Kingdra on this team. And then I was like, let me bring the mons that I haven't brought yet. So for those of you who don't know, I built all of my teams at the start of the season. Before week 1 had even happened, I had all of my week's teams because I just wanted it to be a very casual, laid-back league for us. That's why we're competing under the Lake District Spirits banner rather than the bovines. And yeah, so then when I saw, you know, there's only 2 mons I haven't brought yet, I thought this is the time to bring them. So let's have a look at what he's got on his team here. He has, wow, very different to what I was expecting. No Toxtricity, interesting. Is there Aura, is Rillaboom, is Hawlucha, no, oh, there is a Klefki. Okay, no Crawdon, that's really good. I didn't want to see the Crawdon. And there's a Chandelure, okay. So, I'm going to lead off with Diglett because I want to try and trap the Zeraora turn 1 if I can. So the 2 things that I hadn't brought yet were Diglett and Dreadnought. So we've got Diglett and Dreadnought. Why not? Let's give him some love. You can see the squad there, everything that we're rocking. Banded, Barraskewda, Lumberry for the potential Thunder Wave on the Klefki. And then double leftovers on the Seismitoad and the Ferrothorn. Pelipper, don't really need to say too much about. It's a Pelipper. It does what Pelipper does. So hopefully we can trap the Zeraora turn 1. Something tells me he hasn't brought Shell Zeraora for our Diglett. And if he has, then hey, that means he's not something else, right? That means he's not Life Orb. Zeraora is undoubtedly the biggest threat to my team. So at some point, I'm probably going to end up sacking something to bring in Diglett to trap it and KO it. I do have high horsepower on this as well as, no, Stomping Tantrum on it as well as Earthquake so that I can do stuff in terrain. I am Choice Scarf, so I am free set up for Hawlucha. However, Banded Barraskewda in rain will outrun Hawlucha even after an Unburden. So we can potentially revenge kill him very easily with our Barraskewda, which is nice. I'm going to turn the music down in my headphones a little bit because it's just a little bit too loud. Make sure everything's good everywhere else. It looks to be, so I'm going to close Discord now. Perfect. All right, let's get into this. As he leads off with the Rillaboom. So this was the other option, is that he might want to get his terrain up early. I thought he'd want to pressure the Pelipper a little bit more than this, so I didn't think he'd necessarily lead off with this, but that's fine. He wants to get his grassy terrain up early. I can understand that. This is almost certainly going to be a U-turn. At worst, it's going to be a knockoff. Either way, I'm going to go straight into my Ferrothorn and start racking up some chip damage on this. And potentially look to get my hazards up early. Not thinking too long about this one because what is there to think about, right? He could be like, I don't think this gets superpower. I think he gets like Hammer Arm or something like that. So he could have some fighting coverage for me, but I am max physically defensive. I am leftovers. Good, that's what we wanted. We want a little bit of chip, all the chip. I wish I was Rocky Helmet. I thought about like changing it last minute when I was adding the Diglett to the squad and the Dreadnought, but then I was like, nah, I'll just stick with leftovers. I'm not going to go too wild this game. If you had like the, you know what I'm thinking of. The man with the crab hammer, Crawdon. If you had Crawdon, you can tell I'm tired. Then I wanted to be able to do something about it. So yeah, that's basically why we're doing that. So here, I can't trap him with Diglett. Can't trap a ghost type. So This thing's actually a problem. Didn't really prep for this thing. I didn't really prep for a lot, to be honest with you. I kind of just brought, like, fire. I was just like, let's just bring some heat sets. If you Shadow Ball's here, good play. It's kind of free, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But what I can use is I can use my Seismitoad early, as it goes for the Trick Room. So it's one of... people love bringing Trick Room against me. So it's Trick Room with Eggy. I get it. I did wonder when I saw the Eggy at Team Preview if it could be Trick Room. But it didn't seem super logical with his other team members. But I didn't change... I didn't put Eggy on my sheet here, actually. So let's put Eggy. Eggy. Okay. This seems like a really simple Weather Ball for me. If he goes Rillaboom, I probably underspeed him. I could U-turn. Because if he goes Eggy, I don't underspeed that. And then go into what on Eggy? Because I don't fucking prep anything for Trick Room Eggy. Probably this, right? So I'm just going to Weather Ball. Interesting. I wonder how hard of a Trick Room team this is. Yeah, I should have Hurricaned, really. I don't know why I didn't Hurricane. That might have been a bit of a coward's play, not Hurricaning. Okay, let's see. I don't know what this thing wants to do. Does it want to Leaf Storm me? What the fuck do you want to do to me? Pelipper, I've... Skyrand has brought the heat. Choice Specs, Alolan Eggy. I mean, Draco's going to decimate me. Leaf Storm's going to decimate me. I don't want to give him this early, but at the same time, I'm like, what else can I really do here? Oh, I'm getting chest pains. I should have Hurricaned. 1000%. Poor play by me not Hurricaning and Weather Balling. That was really passive play. As he goes for the... I didn't know this got this. So he's probably physical then. Which is fine. I've got leftovers, I've got grassy terrain. Flamethrower is not going to do too much in the rain. So that's heat. I wonder if he's just like, hey, so for those of you who don't know, Skyrand is actually dropping after this week. This is his final week of the GDL. He's got a crazy busy work schedule. But I'm really glad that I got to play him before he dipped. So, but yeah, he is leaving. So maybe he just thought, hey, final week, let me bring some heat, let me bring some Grassy Glide, Trick Room, Eggy. Like, we are faster than him in Trick Room. I could see a Flamethrower. Can I hit Low Kick coming out? We are Fizz Def, so we should really chew that. And we get some Iron Barbs off on him. I don't really want to give him this yet. Because he still has the... we are recovering a lot. I wish I had like Protect or something to stall out a 10 of Trick Room. We've got one layer of Spike down. The Grassy Terrain goes down now. How many turns of Trick Room left? One. One turn of Trick Room. Expecting him to want a Low Kick again. I'm going to go into this. He doesn't get any recovery, and then I can Hurricane him. We've still got some turns of Rain, or I can even U-turn. So I expect him to Low Kick again. If he makes a brave play, then fair play. No, okay. Good. Alright, so we've seen the Grassy Glide as the Twisted Dimensions return. I'm just going to Hurricane this time. I'm not going to overthink this one. Like, I could U-turn, sure. He might have, like, Draco Meteor or something for me, but he seems to be physical, and I'm physically defensive Pelipper. So I think we'll take a Wood Hammer, as that does a lot to him. Does an awful lot to him. And he reveals his item to be a... what berry? A Citrus Berry. Okay. As he goes for the Trick Room again. So last time, so we know his Grassy Glide, Trick Room, Low Kick. Do you think U-turn KOs? I really don't. What would be the threat under Trick Room on his team here? What would be the threat? If I knocked this out, what would come out next under Trick Room? Chandelier? I can probably... Chandelier would be a problem. I wish I was Sash Diglett. I think I'm just going to Hurricane again. I think I've just got to attack the threat. I'll worry about if Chandelier is some weird Trick Room set after. As he goes out into, what's that? The Klefki. Okay. Again, could have Trick Roomed. But he takes a spike, he takes a hurricane. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. This is fine by me. I've also got my team written down wrong on my notes here, so I'll do that in between turns. Let's see. This thing comes back out under Trick Room. I hate that I'm having to do so much with Pharaoh right now because I want my Ferrothorn healthy. But I think my best play is to go into Ferrothorn. I could go Seismitoad. I just don't know what he does here. I could go Seismitoad, but I am Swift Swim, so I'm going to be a lot faster than him. Does Rain end soon? I feel like Rain ends soon, so maybe I can pivot. Maybe I can go Pharaoh here, then into Toad on the turn that Rain ends. I just don't know what's happening. I just don't know what's happening. This is throwing me off so much. I didn't expect any of this. I thought maybe Trick Room Eggy, but yeah, T-Wave. Okay. I don't mind this thing getting powered too much because it just powers up my Gyro Balls. So I'm just going to go for the knockoff here, I think, because I don't want to let the Chandelure in without punishing it in some aspect. Like, the Chandelure is probably the biggest threat to me. I don't think he's going to go hard Rillaboom, so... And if I went, like, Seismitoad predicting the Rillaboom, then I could try and get my Rocks up on Shandy, but that would be... I feel a slightly aggressive play, because if I click Rocks and he stays into Energy Ball, my Seismitoad, it's not going to be great, so... and without Rain, I don't outrun his Shandy anymore, either. And I'm almost certain he's going to be... okay, so he's like Clay. He's like Clay. Okay, I don't have Defog, so we are going to have to make some plays, boys. I've got no Brick Break, no Psychic Fangs, and no Defog. But this thing right now just isn't a threat. It just isn't a threat. So let me get some spikes up while I'm getting lots of leftovers recovery. If he wants to go Chandelure on this, good play. Okay, we get another spike up. This stays in. I think I'm going to knock off this next turn, try and catch the Chandelure. Let me think. I could Gyro. I am paralyzed. It's probably going to do a lot of Chandelure, but I feel like having... So Trick Room's over. I'm just going to knock again. I don't want to let anything in for free. I'm going to knock. Yeah, that's fine, I think. We're back up to a really good range of health, which is amazing for Rillaboom. Okay, so he's going to defog away all those spikes. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this because we're also just stalling out her screens. So I don't really care too much about this. So we know his set now. He's no offensive moves. His only move he can do anything with to my team is T-Wave. So he's completely walled by Seismitoad. So what I can do here is I can knock off again. And just keep up that pressure. I don't want to let anything in for free. I'm slowly wearing this thing down. He's got no recovery. His screens are going to go down eventually. At some point, I can try and make the play into Seismitoad. I can try and get another spike up, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm okay with this. This is not ideal. Screens Trick Room is like two of those kind of I want to say like unconventional strategies, right? Two of those things that you don't always prep super hard for, and then when they come, you're like, fuck, this is what I'm dealing with. Yeah, and this is why we just double knocked. It's fine because like I understand that we're not going to do a ton to this thing, but we're going to get some chip, right? We're not just being completely passive here. So this could be a Trick Room. This could be a low kick. I want to Gyro Ball and prevent the Trick Room if I can. The low kick, I'm getting leftovers recovery. I can heal up so passively on that Klefki that I really don't mind too much. At some point, we're likely to get paralyzed as well. I could have just spiked maybe and made him die to whatever, but no, I like this. Gyro Ball, okay, good. We get rid of that. We'll get some leftovers back. So that's one of the threats gone. There's Eggy drops. Okay. I'm going to start formatting my notes differently because sometimes they're a little hard to read in the heat of the moment. So, Ferrothorn claims a KO. Nice. What comes out here? The Rillaboom comes out. Now, this is actually my dedicated Rillaboom check, and I'm going to get Grassy Surge here, so I don't really care about this. He might want to try and go Hawlucha, or U-turn even into Shandy. So, I think I'm going to make the mid-ground of Toxicking. If I Toxic the Chandelure... Because I could easily see this being a U-turn. I could easily see this being a U-turn or a fighting move. What about if I went Pelipper? I prevent the Chandelure from coming in without Rain Up. And I cover a fighting move. He's never clicking the grass move here. So yeah, I think that's a good mid ground. I can always pivot back into the Ferrothorn if he clicks like a fighting move here. If he Sword Stances, something like that. So Sword Stance, Grassy Glide could be a bit of a problem, but with Ferrothorn, powered up Gyro Balls, we'll probably be okay. So at worst, this could be a knockoff. That would probably be worst case scenario here. But I think we're going to find a U-turn. As it goes for the Sword Stance. I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see that. Didn't want to see that at all. So his light screen wears off. I think he has to Grassy Glide here, so I'm just going to... If he Sword Stances again, it's probably GG. It's probably GG. We can stall out his terrain, and then we can revenge kill him with a couple of things that are faster. So it's not the end of the world, I guess, question mark, if he Sword Stances again, because his terrain will eventually end. But yeah, I figured we'd catch the Grassy Glide here. It does a lot at +2 because he crits. I sure hope that didn't just put us in range of something that we wouldn't have been in range of otherwise. But we do get some Iron Barb's chip. We do successfully stall out a turn of his grassy terrain. I could try and make another play here back into something else that could stall out a turn of grassy terrain. 106. What's the standard set on Rilla with Sword Stance? To a Ferrothorn at level 50 with +2. Drain Punch is what they usually run. And it's going to be able to KO me from this range. So we're going to scout to see what his move is. I believe the best scout for this is Nigel. If we get knocked off, it sucks. But if we won't die, we're physically defensive. And we can just try and stall out his grassy terrain. Simple as that. We can try and stall out his grassy terrain. I know now, for future reference, this thing's Sword Stance, and I should just fucking attack it. I should have just gyro balled it in the first place. Low kick. Okay. Low kick. Is that stronger? Crucially, it doesn't get recovery, which is nice. His reflect wears off here as well. Low kick's going to destroy my Ferrothorn. So I have to pick a sack. Everything's valuable. We can either go Rosebush calling the Grassy Glide again. How many turns of grassy terrain does he have left? 2. Yeah, I don't think he's low kicking, so... we're having to dance, boys. We're having to dance. I hope we're not running low on time as well, because I'm having to think these plays through. This is a threat, okay? Grassy Glide is... I should have just gyro balled earlier. I scouted for the coverage move, and I should have just attacked. Yeah, okay. Grassy Glide. As he takes that. I super need this to try and get something on the Halucha later, so even this isn't great. I need to watch my rain turns as well, because I can't revenge him that easily without... What is my best way to revenge this fucking thing, by the way? Anyone? Dreadnought? Yeah, Dreadnought, if I can land it. Actually, no, Barret Scooter. Okay. How many turns of rain do I have left? 4. This is the last turn of grassy terrain. So I'm just going to... I have to give him this eventually, and we might be able to catch him on an over prediction here, because if I go back out into Pelipper, I need Pelipper for the late game, so I have to come back into this. We catch him on an over prediction, boys. He got sick of his pivoting. Please break through paralysis. Come on. Come on, this is going to do a lot. Come on, please break through. Fucking get in there. Okay, we managed to stall out all his screens. We managed to do a chunk, and we managed to stall out his grassy terrain. So that means that we can successfully revenge kill him with anything on the team. So, do we want to bin anything other than Rosebush off here? If he low kicks... Grassy Glide doesn't work outside of terrain, right? I'm not just going insane. If it works outside of terrain, its priority is increased if it's used in grassy terrain. Yeah. Okay, good, good. So we can use it outside of grassy terrain, but it's much worse. The problem is low kick's still going to do a lot to everything at +2. I could just potentially sack this. I don't want to sack the Diglett, though. I don't want to sack the Diglett. Oh, I should sack the Diglett. Yeah. Oh, so sad. I might be able to suicide rocks if low kick doesn't kill, which... I don't know. It's pretty light. It's going to be very low base power on me. Low kick's a roll to KO. In fact, if he's life orb, low kick isn't going to KO. So, if he's not life orb, which he isn't, because we've seen that. So, I'm actually going to live this and be able to suicide rocks. I might have to suicide memento. No, I can suicide rocks. Okay, he U-turns. Good play. I should have stayed with Pharaoh. Nah, that sucks. Poor Diglett. Poor Diglett. He wants to keep his grassy terrain. I thought he'd just take his KO. He can still grassy glide later in the game, but we kept our Ferrothorn. So, I'm surprised he U-turned though, because I would have put him in range of a spike or all sorts. So, poor old Diglett goes down, man. Poor old Diglett falls 0-1. Ah, sad. I finally brought him. I should have brought the fucking Venusaur. Imagine if we'd had a Venusaur to deal with that. How much better would that have been? Alright, what came out? Klefki, I think? Was it Klefki? I think it was Klefki. Yeah, okay. I just heard the cry. I was looking at my stats, making sure everything was where it should be. Okay. So we know that we hard wall him with this thing. We also know that he doesn't really deal with this particularly well. So what I'm actually going to do... Wow, I have sub. I'm actually going to sub. Didn't know I had that. That's pretty nice. When did I build this? He can't break my sub. He can't break my sub. He's not encore. And I'm Swift Swim, so I outrun Zeraora. So this pretty much just claims one. This pretty much just claims one. Amazing. So I'm going to get my rocks up. Yes, he's getting his screens up again, but that's fine. I'm going to get my rocks up. I can actually afford to just sit here in front of this thing. I've got leftovers, right? So I can actually just afford to... Let's see. Spam rocks and just get all my health back. I could Sledge Wave this turn, try and catch the Rillaboom. He wouldn't Rillaboom before he defogged. So the rain stops, so we lose our speed, but we're just getting recovery. Like, I'm just gonna Stealth Rock again. I know this. I'm playing this like kind of not stally, but like I'm having to stall out his conditions, right? I'm having to stall out screens. I'm having to stall out Trick Room. I'm having to stall out like etc. etc. It's just a bit of a pain, but you got to do what you got to do, right? You got to do what you got to do. So let's have a look. How much PP does Stealth Rock have? Stealth Rock has 32 PP. Defog has 24. So I get my rocks up in this exchange. I'm going to click him again. I get my leftovers recovery. I get my rocks up. If he wants to go into anything else, I get to take the KO. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly happy with this interaction. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with this interaction. I want those screens down. I might not necessarily get a KO because the screens are up, but like an Earth Power into Chandelure is going to do a lot. Earth Power into Zeraora is going to do a lot. A Sludge Wave into Rillaboom is going to take the KO. So, and if I can net my rocks up at the end of this, like I have, then that's perfect. As he goes into what, the Rillaboom, that's perfect. So rocks stay up, Rillaboom comes back in. I can actually sub to stall that grassy terrain here, because I'm slower than him. So that will get him quite healthy though. But then will low kick or U-turn break my sub? Yeah, they still would. They still would. So I'm just going to Sludge Wave and take my KO here. I'm tempted to, like I say, I'm tempted to just sub down and get as healthy as I can, stall out his grassy terrain so we can't grassy glide anymore. But this is such a huge threat to my team. Like, I just want it gone. So he's going to pivot out into the Holucha here. I'm behind a sub. I outrun him in rain. So I'm okay with this. Like, I need chip on this thing anyway. It doesn't matter how many times he Swords Dances. I just sack Pelipper and I get in my Rain Sweep, my Rain Mons. Oh! Man! That sucks. I don't know how we're going to recreate all of that. I felt like we were in a good spot as well, I'm not going to lie. Ah, that sucks. That really sucks. Hi guys, so sorry about the cut there. As you can see, the screen's gone all grey. Yeah, me and Skyran have done some talking since that game finished. You guys saw everything that happened from the beginning to the end. You saw that I was pretty knackered by the time we even started, that I'd been, waiting for an hour and stuff, and it's absolutely no fault of Skyrander. Like, he is honestly one of the top blokes in this community, a lot of love for him, but he's just having so much internet trouble today. So we spoke after the game, we were like, look, we could try and do a recreation, but realistically, like, so many turns happened in that game to try and match the damage on a certain Pokemon, which is going to be significant in the end game here, is going to be nigh on impossible. Plus the hacks, because I managed to break through paralysis with Ferrothorn, right, a lot. The chance of us being able to recreate that on Showdown, it's not great. We could try and start the game from scratch, but now I know he has like Trick Room screens and that he can't touch my Seismitoad with his Clef Key, etc. I would play that game very differently. I would completely play that game differently from turn 1. I know he's Sword Stance, Low Kick, Grassy Glide, Rillaboom, which I misplayed around, by the way. But I would play that game so differently. So it's one of those things where it's like, any recreation would be inaccurate, and any start from scratch would be false. It wouldn't be a real game. So we basically agreed that he's dropping the league anyway, and as the connection issues are on his end, and they have been all night, and I sat down to do this game 2 hours ago now. I'm going away, as most of you will know. I will have just got back when you guys watch this upload, but most of you will know I've been away for the last week. So tonight I've got to get ready to go away for a week. So because we've been sat here for 2 hours, which I really needed to be packing and editing videos and uploading videos and making thumbnails, etc., etc., I don't really have the time to try and recreate 8 times on Showdown before Ferrothorn breaks through the paralysis, etc., etc. So I feel awful saying this, and I said to him, like, I feel awful in this situation, but we essentially came to the agreement that he's leaving the league. The connection issues are on his fault anyway, or on his end anyway, sorry. I just don't have the time to recreate now, so it's kind of as if, like, someone missed the scheduled date to play, right? Let's say we had scheduled to play tonight, he hadn't turned up, I would get the forfeit win. So we've kind of agreed that we're going to do it like that. I'm going to submit the stats to the website as a 5-5 win to us, so we don't get any differential from this. Had the game gone to timer at the point that we were at, it would have been a 5-5 win to me on the old timer system, because I had more HP on my Mons, I believe, given how low his Rillaboom was, and the fact that I'd just taken a load of HP off his Hawlucha as well, and only my Ferrothorn had taken barely any damage. So based on the fact that all these variables, you can tell how uncomfortable I am talking about this, because it feels shit. I don't want this. I don't want forfeit wins. I want good games. Like I said at the start of the season, I'm here to have fun in the GDL, and the forfeit wins aren't fun. They're pointless. So, but it's absolutely not Skyrander's fault. It's not my fault. It's just the way it goes sometimes. So, yeah, we technically get a W here. We technically move to 4-0. It's great for our, playoff run and stuff, but I don't really care. I'm here to enjoy playing some rain games. And this one was good, right? How good was this game until we disconnected? I think we could have done it. I think if I had played right, we were in a position where we could win that game. But I don't know what other crazy techs he had left, and I don't know what else he would have done. But yeah, it certainly would have been an interesting end game, and it sucks we didn't get to see it. The Zero Aura and stuff could have been a problem for me from that point. So who knows? Who knows what would have happened? But yeah, GG to Skyrander. Sorry that it ended this way for him, especially, his whole league run ended this way, but that's how it goes. I don't really know. It just sucks. Just sucks. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a full game, and hopefully with me a bit more cheery. So thank you so much for loafing around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.